I'm Neil with Nickel City Graphics, and today we're going to try something a little bit different. We're kind of experimenting with a new camera that we have. So we're going to do something that may or may not work out, and it is a interview with CJ Maurer of Complete Payroll using 360 video. So what you can do is, if you're watching this on your phone, you can kind of turn or use your finger to swipe, and it'll move you around the 360 space. If you're on a desktop, you can use your mouse to do the same.
We should have picked a more impressive space.
Yeah, we could have.
Given the circumstances.
We could have. But this is round one. Hopefully we can do some more of these. So that's kind of the setup. Feel free to look around, because we are going to put a little Easter egg in here. And for those of you who don't know what an Easter egg is, because CJ did not, we're going to put a definition right there, and that'll stay there for a few minutes while we get started. So, CJ.
Yes, Neil.
Why don't you just tell us what you do and a little bit about Complete Payroll.
So Complete Payroll is a payroll processing company that's about 25 years old, headquartered in Perry, New York, which is near Letchworth State Park. We've been around for quite some time, have satellite offices in Buffalo and Rochester, are growing at quite a pretty responsible and progressive rate. We do payroll processing. We also provide human resources, time and labor, and Affordable Care Act compliance services. I got introduced to the organization several years ago when I was actually working for a marketing consulting firm, and Complete Payroll decided to become one of my clients, and I consulted with them for about a year before I was ultimately offered a position to head up the marketing and branding aspects of the business. So in about a couple of weeks, it'll actually be 1 year now that I've been a full-time employee of Complete Payroll, and basically I'm responsible for maintaining brand standards and communications across all channels, improving the internal communications and marketing to internal stakeholders for the organization, and then all of the other things that you would normally associate with a marketing function within an organization, especially focused on content marketing, which, for those of you that aren't aware what content marketing is, what we're really focused on doing is taking our organization's intellectual property, knowledge assets, and packaging that into offers that people would seek out, trade their email address for, and allow us to build up our email database that we can nurture and provide more value, and then over time make them want to consider doing business with us. So content marketing is a hot thing right now in the world of marketing. It involves really a lot of disciplines, from writing and SEO to social and design, and now multimedia and video. And that's one of the things that's brought me into a close working relationship with Neil. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, but also very rewarding.
Great. And I guess just to anyone, if you see me looking back here, I'm not trying to be rude to CJ. We've got the video feed going here, and also our audio is being taken on this mic here, so I'm just checking levels and so on. So let's talk about, we have done some work together in your year here, and you mentioned that you might want to talk about kind of the way that we ended up working here versus where you were before.
Sure, yeah.
So if you want to talk about that, let's hear it.
Sure. Well, like I'm sure a lot of people who started working with you, for those of you that don't know, I started working with Neil when I was on the agency side. So if I had a client that I thought could use video production services, I would bring Neil in for a variety of projects for a couple of clients. And Neil and Nickel City Graphics have always been really good to work with, not just from like the planning and strategy side, but also the production and the editing, and then the subsequent promotion. So all pretty standard stuff. But what's been really cool is, since I came to Complete Payroll, we had an appetite to kind of create our own video production house in-house. we knew that video and video content was going to be central to our marketing and content marketing strategy. We use it in a variety of ways, and it's been very successful for us. So we knew that we wanted to bring it in-house because over time it would make it easier and more efficient for us to do that, and definitely a lot more cost effective. So as somebody who had worked with people in video before, like Nickel City Graphics and even other production houses, I knew a little bit about video, but I was never actually the technician. I never actually got behind a camera, and let alone did any editing or a lot of the things that is necessary to have a successful video production operation. So I really relied on Neil in helping us purchase the right equipment, understand how to use it, figure out the basics of how to set up a shoot using lighting and audio and framing, to editing, and then also promotion. So now we really have our own standalone video production operation, and you're looking at it. It's me. It's somebody who a year ago had absolutely zero experience behind a camera, but now I'm creating semi-professional looking videos, fairly basic, but certainly professional looking videos for the web, for YouTube, for other social platforms, for showcasing our internal team or for traditional external marketing purposes. And I'm able to edit them, and I'm able to come up with strategies for promoting them, a lot of which I also rely on Nickel City Graphics for. And given the investment that we've made and the output that we've gotten, I would consider it one of the greatest successes, if not the greatest success, since I've been a part of Complete Payroll. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I'm glad you're
saying
you're
nice
still pumping them out. Yeah.
Glad I'm saying nice things about you on camera.
Exactly. Not mean things while we're face to face, right? You can see some of CJ's setup here, a little background setup. We've got a simple lighting setup here today, and he doesn't have his rig really. Well, it's in the room somewhere, isn't it? Your camera.
Oh, my camera's in my office, and our studio lights are actually at HQ right now because I'm doing some shoots there on Friday, which is really cool. They're pretty portable and easy to use.
Yeah, and CJ does great work. Like we'll put up a card here to link you to Complete Payroll's YouTube page, which gives you an idea of some of the stuff he does. And you mentioned kind of the promotion that we do. We call the service guaranteed views. And the guaranteed views that we do, I guess, can you talk about how you're able to utilize them within your own kind of marketing campaigns?
Yeah, so if we're using a traditional content marketing campaign, and let's say we have a PDF ebook that we think certain people want to download. So what we'll do is we'll say, here, have this free, decision makers guide on the new overtime changes, but we'll direct traffic to a specific landing page where there's a form to fill out in order to access the form, right? So that way we're transferring value, we're giving them the form, but in the process we're collecting email addresses and building up our list of people that we can nurture and stay in touch with in the process. So in that situation, the name of the game is really just to drive traffic to the landing page. And you want to drive traffic to the landing page through a variety of ways. One is you want to write blog posts that fit within the overall topic that have links that drive traffic to the landing page. You can get into lead flows. That's a topic for another day. You could do paid search. You can do social, paid social, affiliate. And what we do with Neil, the Guaranteed Views campaign, is kind of like a hybrid between paid social and paid search, where what we do is we create a YouTube video that talks about the offer and includes a link to get it, and then pay to promote that to people that we think fit within our target audience that we're trying to target. And what is so great about that is we've been able to, with Nickel City Graphics, easily create simple videos, hand them over to Neil. He tees up the promotion. The promotions are quick. They can get up and running in a day or two, probably even less if we really needed to. and they're affordable, and I can see all the metrics. I can see on the back end, how many people came from this source, how many people converted, and I know that we've generated conversions from the campaigns that we've run, meaning now some of the people in our database that we can market to were acquired through these campaigns. So,
Yeah, the only holdup there really is there's about Google says 24 hours to approve an ad.
Sure,
And that's usually
yeah.
the only hang up. But outside of that, yeah, we get up and running quick. I think, I don't know, like we've done some other production stuff at your former place of business, but since you've been at Complete, we've done the guaranteed views and kind of the consulting to help you get set up. So yeah, I guess that's all we have to talk about today, really. Unless you want to give any last words of wisdom to the audience there.
I'm a big fan of video. I believe in video, and I think that if you are not using video in your marketing, then you're not really doing marketing right now. And I know that's kind of like a lame way to say it, because you could apply that to any one thing in any one industry. But I actually think it holds water. And so I would implore anybody who is an owner of a small business or at a marketing function in a small business that has limited-ish resources to either consider outsourcing video or bringing it in. Either way, Nickel City Graphics would be an absolutely valuable resource to figure out what is the best route for you. Do you want to outsource some videos? They can help you from A to Z with all of that. Or do you want to get set up on your own? They can provide you with some very affordable consulting, and then can really help you on the back end once you have gotten started in producing videos and figuring out how to promote them and use them to your advantage. Either way, having video presents you with a lot of advantages, whether it's through promoting them on YouTube and social the way we just described, or just inserting them into the other touch points of your brand. For example, we're a company that competes against primarily two very large players in our industry, and we can't compete with them on some things, but we can be very competitive, if not advantageous, in others. And one of those things is personalization and customer service. And so we want to compete on personalization. We want to show people that we can go the extra mile, we can communicate more, that we care more. And video helps us do that, as simply as creating individual bio pages for the members of our executive team and our sales staff that include bio videos and more information about them. When in doubt, if you have to communicate something, if you can do it by video, it personalizes it, and it is definitely a lot more engaging for somebody else to take in. So I think the advantages that are presented by video are endless. It's one of those things where the more you do it, the more you realize there's room to do more of it. And Nickel City Graphics would be a phenomenal resource to consult to get started.
So yeah, I've got, I guess, two things on that. So if you are interested, we do have a full playlist of like how to improve your own campaign that we developed last year that we'll share probably with a card or something here through this video. And there'll be a link in the description as well. But you brought up something that I was going to ask you about actually, which is, and I only know this because I have access to your YouTube channel, right, for our promotion purposes. But you do personalized kind of like thanks for signing up videos on occasion, or kind of thanks for giving us a call, right? So how well have those been working? Are those that level of personalization?
A really good example is we had a client that left us for a competitor, and then after about a year and a half, decided they wanted to come back. Decided that life was better in payroll country. So we started a policy where when that happens, we're going to shoot a quick welcome video and say, hey, welcome back. We're really excited to be working with you again. We're going to make sure to work even harder this time, so on and so forth. We have a good service, so that's usually a pretty easy promise to keep. But in the payroll industry, it's a very high turnover industry. So there's always going to be turnover. That is inevitable. But we're a type of business where we get a lot of people who leave and come back because they realize how good our service actually was. And so we do things like that. We'll do things like, if we know somebody wants to meet with us for whatever reason, but they've been busy and, we've had a hard time connecting, maybe somebody will send a personalized email saying, hey, Neil, I'm CJ. I know that, Joe Smith was trying to connect us, but, I just wanted to reach out personally and say, I think it would be great for us to get together, so on and so forth. So we use video, you're right, to customize and personalize a lot of different types of communication. And yeah, people love it because who does that anymore, right? It's almost like, it's kind of like writing handwritten thank you notes. We write handwritten thank you notes too because we're all about the personal touch in every way possible. And a lot of times that's video. And so when you go a little bit out of your way to do something, people get it.
Right. Yeah. Much different than the mass email, right?
Much different than the mass email, BCC,
right.
Everybody and their mother.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll see how the playback works out and everything with what people think of it. If you, I don't know, if you think it's cool, let us know. If you think it's not that cool to have this type of setup, then you can let us know that too. And thanks to CJ for being our guinea pig in this 360 interview, and hopefully there's more to come. All right. Thanks CJ.
Man.
Yep. All right. Thanks.